And we'll try to prune this bush today. I want to remind you of the basic principles that I use when I prune the vine. For you to be more got it, I want to talk about the individual elements of the hive, which you see. Let's start with this extreme part, that is, we can completely delete. We create the so-called fruit link. Hello dear friends and colleagues. We are with me again in the vineyard. In the yard, the end of October almost. The vineyard has already lost its leaves, they are left alone small lumps. Therefore in the north of Belarus comes the hottest time to do just pruning bushes. I want to dedicate this video to this problem because there are so many in the comments. There were requests from you. Today we will cut such a bush by everyone favorite in our family is Sharov's riddle, which is comfortably located on a single plain trellis, and let's try cutting today. I will give you practical advice. So friends, before you start pruning this bush, I want to remind you of the basic principles which I use when cutting. I would advise you to use these principles when approaching bush. Well, firstly, after pruning, only a well-ripened vine should remain on the bush. What means well-matured vine is bright brown in color and warm to the touch, and of normal thickness 5 to 10 millimeters. Second moment. It is based on features varieties. The required length of shoots for good fruiting must be correctly selected in order to not be left without a harvest next year. The fact is that some varieties and hybrid forms do not accept exactly a short pruning for 3 to 4 buds, they need at least an average, or even a long one. Medium pruning is 5 to 8 buds and long 10 to 12 buds. Third moment. To contain growth bushes along the length of the trellis itself and filling voids inside the bush, as well as for safety net on a case of poor wintering. For better recovery closer to the base of the bush, northern regions I recommend leaving a few replacement or restoration knots as they are called. It is cut short into 2 to 3 buds of the vine. When cutting and shaping bushes, take into account the space allotted for the bush on the trellis, and at the same time it is necessary keep in mind that the minimum distance between green shoots after bud break should be about 10 to 15 centimeters, that is, in other words, you should leave on the trellis itself from 8 up to 10 pieces of such shoots per linear meter. Very often windowgrowers have problems with how many buds to leave after trimming, so here is the total number of buds after trimming on a single plain trellis. I would recommend leaving order 30 to 35 pieces. And after breaking out in the spring, there will accordingly be fewer of them, no more than 25 to 30, that is, we should leave a small margin just in case. Now going straight to the pruning, I want to note that in my vineyard, I use a low standard moderate shaping, which consists of 4 to 6 sleeves with fruit links. Let's friends now try to crop bush riddle Sharov. To make it clear to you, I want to tell you about some hive elements that you see on the screen. This is considered a stamp or the head of a bush. You see him, I have a low standard. It's already gone multi-year sleeves. On these sleeves this is the vine of the second year, and these are the vines that have grown this year. Fruit arrows like them I call. Now we will shorten it all, remove something, and it will be easier for you to navigate in this cut. There is nothing complicated about this. So let's get started. Well, friends, there are 2 in front of you multi-year sleeves with which we will now work, and on which we will create fruit vision based on the place that we have on this trellis. Let's start with the extreme, this part, that is, we can completely remove it. Because it just bothers us and nowhere will grow our shoots. Now we will delete everything. Now here on the rest, we cut off such a thinner shoot per knot substitution. Create a fruit link. More, I would like to note that Sharov's mystery variety bears fruit from virtually any bud and is acceptable any pruning. But on the other hand, she has such a characteristic feature that she does not very thick shoots that need to be cut not so long. I usually use a pretty short one pruning on it, that is, here we count 4 buds and calmly cut off 1 for the stalk. So this is how we created one fruit link. Next we this escape, in this way we press it to the ground and immediately prepare it directly for shelter for the winter. We move on. Here we have an inconveniently located shoot, as you can see, which grows up. It will be very difficult to press under cover for the winter. So without any regret we take and we also cut it off together with the old wood in this way. And the rest here we will cut this escape now, and we will cut it too. Let's see how far it fits here, and also here we do just such a short pruning. We fold these vines. They're quite easy to press, so we can press it in this way. There is a slight overlap here are the shoots, but then in the spring we will tie one higher than the other lower, we will not have this. So let's move on. So friends, we finished with one sleeve and move on to the second. Here we have serious thickening will also be visible, so we will also ruthlessly cut off such a part of the spines. I also want to remind you that the trimming of old sleeves is done with a little hemp, so as not to there was further drying up of this younger vine. But from these remnants what we do. This is a very weak vine, I see no point in it, that is, we also delete, leaving only one fruit arrow, which we naturally also shorten it in a way. Immediately it can also be pressed in this direction. You see how good it bends here, everything is convenient, everything is fine. This is how we press this vine. Well, here we are uploading the crop left to us create, as it were, the last fruit link. Here we cut this one short. We cut it off on a fruit arrow. And this vine that is already climbing onto a neighboring bush, we simply also remove, leaving a small stump. Like this. Now let's get it all. Thus, Remove these cropped shoots. Let's press this one more vine. I'll cut it like this. Well, friends, we finished another one with you. Pruning of a bush of a great riddle of Sharovoi. This is exactly what I get for the future, shaping leaving several replacement knots. That is, it is suitable for our northern conditions and for varieties that bear fruit directly from the first buds. Well, so here are the friends I'm for young growers. I want to emphasize once again that do not be afraid to cut the grapes to the maximum. This is firstly, it will raise its aesthetic appearance, it will not be so messy, you will be comfortable with these bushes to work, plus there will be fewer diseases on these bushes because grapes have a very great recovery power. Therefore, there is no need to be afraid to cut off the extra ones. Worse if it's not at all due. I hope that the video was interesting and useful for you. Subscribe to the channel. Put likes. Vadim Tachalin was with you. See you soon.